core premise in terms of strengths is the things we're gifted at, we re-energize by doing that work, and we really can do it with excellence. And if we're not gifted at it, there's no way we're ever going to get excellent about it. So what it does is it transfers all the work to the leadership team to try to put together the individual strengths and connect it up with the job. So to some extent, I as a person can look at my strengths and try to steer my career into the places where those strengths are best deployed. But it's also up to the leader to recognize that if he really wants to do it well, he's got to put people into those jobs and organize the jobs around the individual strengths. And it makes leadership much harder than it would be if you didn't have to pay attention to it. Well, one of the things about being in these kinds of jobs is, and I think it fits for a lot of leadership jobs, is you got to know what you believe in, and you got to become very passionate about what you care about, what you believe in. You got to stay true to that central belief. But when you get into the checks and balances, which organizations have things like boards to prevent you from being sort of getting out of hand in relationship to those points of view, there has to be, and I struggle with this, there has to be the respect for a different frame of looking at the world and a different reference point. And on the other hand, you're there because you're there to drive your point of view through to operating. So there's a natural tension there that should be there. I think the biggest thing for me is to try to look at the other person and still want to like them, even if I disagree with them. It makes it easier to deal with the times we really disagree about what to do. This will sound a bit like a commercial for Gallup, because Gallup actually introduced the construct to us of measuring employee engagement, and that you can measure it in a way that directly connected to behavior. So, to some extent we owe them for giving us that construct. But the other big advantage of Gallup with its Q12 questions is that they ask them of people around the whole world. So you get a chance to see what people in different cultures feel like, and they've been asking them for so many years that you're comparing yourself against something where it's kind of a known, where there's lots of things that connect to. So it makes a big difference because it's a solid scientific piece of work that you connect it to, as opposed to a leader just wanting to prove that they're good at something.